Guys, Whispering Tactician back again with another video, and today we have a Premier League predictions video where teams will finish. We are going to be looking at that today, but before we do that, hit the like button as it helps the channel so much. We have a very nice, interesting video for you guys today. Comment down below, let me know what your predictions are. If you think my predictions are right or wrong, let me know, and of course subscribe to the channel for more similar content. Anyway, let's get into the video. As you can see, we have each position labelled out from relegation candidates, 20th, 19th, 18th, all the way up to champions in first. And the relegation candidates are going to be very interesting. But before we get into everything, let's consider who's going to finish in 20th. So the team that I've predicted to finish in 20th is Brentford. Now, I think the only reason I'm actually putting Brentford in 20th is because I don't know as much about them as every other team, and from what I do know, they seem like a team that always nearly misses out, and I feel like that might be the case again. I feel like the relegation squad might be very tight this year, and they might go down narrowly, but they might finish at the bottom of the pile, unfortunately, and I've put them down in 20th. In 19th place, still to be relegated, is Norwich City. Now, Norwich City play some fantastic football. Of course, they've lost Emi Buendia, and it seems like they're also going to lose Cantwell or Max Aarons. It seems like Cantwell's more likely though. So Norwich again, they don't impress me as a football. Well, they do impress me as a footballing side, but they don't impress me in terms of their Premier League status. So I feel like they might get relegated this season. Compared to everybody else above them, they're not as good a side as well, in my opinion. In 18th, I have gone for Newcastle. Now they have a fantastic start in Alan St. Maximum. They have a decent team, but I feel like their manager Steve Bruce is what is gonna, that's gonna be the downfall of them. He's been very average at best at Newcastle, and Newcastle is very toxic at this point in time in terms of managers, in terms of ownership. I feel like it might all start to affect them very, very soon. I'm putting Newcastle on 18th. I love Newcastle as a city, as a club even, but I feel like this year might be one of the surprises where they go down, might have a slow start or whatever, and just not recover from that. Now, looking ahead of us, and we're going to get to this in just a second, we have the teams fighting for, to stay out of relegation. I've gone for the first team to do that is Watford in 17th. They could easily go down, but I just don't think all three teams that have come back up are gonna go down, in my opinion. I feel like Watford will be that team that stays up. They have the pedigree to stay up. They've been in the Premier League before for a number of years, and they're returning with very similar players that they had last time. Just a few upgrades here and there, and a bit of a different side, different manager as well. So yeah, I think Watford will have a very good stay in the Premier League and avoid relegation. In 16th place, I have gone for Burnley Football Club. I always predict Burnley to go down. I'm gonna stop doing it. They have some very decent players that I like, in terms of Dwight McNeil, their manager as well. He just knows when they're in a sticky patch, he knows how to get them out of it and get them to survive. And the fans in Burnley love him. It's the crown jewel of the Burnley area. So I'm gonna say 16th for Burnley, and they're gonna do what Burnley do, in my opinion, which is avoid relegation. In 15th, I have gone for Southampton. Now, let me tell you, Southampton can very easily go down. Very, very easily go down. They've lost Danny Ings. The striker that they've brought in to replace Danny Ings is not as good as Danny Ings, and that remains to be seen whether he can have a good impact. I just feel like Southampton are underwhelming. They play a very aggressive style of football. I feel like it might get to them this season. Managers like Hasenhüttl don't just. Sometimes it goes wrong when it goes wrong because of the way they both play football. I just don't think they're gonna impress me this season, so I'm gonna go with 15th for Southampton. And it's not even a bad finish in reality, but for what Southampton can do, I think it is. In 14th, I have chosen to go for Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, of course, have Wilfried Zaha. I think he's one of their most influential players. They've got a decent crop of players. They've got Vieira as a manager, who is yet to be proven, if I'm being totally honest. I feel like Crystal Palace, though, they won't struggle. Their players, their setup as a whole club is too good for them to struggle. And I feel like they'll finish mid-table, bottom of mid-table in 14th. In 13th, I have gone for Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton just impress me every year. Sometimes I think they're gonna go down, but they do it with style. A bit like Norwich, I feel like they're gonna go down, but at least they play some good football. But they do actually stay up, and I love them as a club. They've got a fantastic manager in Graham Potter, who is wanted or was wanted by likes of Tottenham, because of his style of football, and the way he coaches. I love it. The way he manages from the sideline with the types of plays that he has. He makes the most out of the situation, because Brighton are not meant to be up in 6th or 7th, but they play like a team that has a bit of swag about them, and I have to say that I admire that about Brighton. So I'm going to put them in 13th, and surviving comfortably. In 12th, I'm going to go for Wolves. Now, Wolves as a side, it's a very complicated one, because they have changed managers, of course. They have gone for Bruno Lage, I think is how you pronounce it. Might be, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's a decent manager. Is he as good as Nuno? I mean, I've not heard of him, with that type of pedigree, so I don't know. Wolves are obviously a decent side. They're getting Raul Jimenez back. I feel like they'll just kind of just go through the season, beat a couple big teams maybe, and just float away in around that 12th, 11th, 10th area, maybe a bit lower. But I feel like Wolves will just survive and get by. In 11th, I have gone for Everton Football Club. Everton, I admire Everton because they always push for a top half finish, and to finish in the Europa League places like they did last season. They just kind of bottled it towards the end of last season, which was a bit disappointing, but they have some fantastic players. They've got James Rodriguez. They've also got a new manager in Rafa Benitez, who's also an experienced manager, with Duncan Ferguson being his assistant as well. I think a lot of good things are going on at Everton. Money that's been pumped in. 11th place for me. 10th place, West Ham United. No, they don't have. They've not made any signings really, if I'm being totally honest. So I can't really put them up where they belong, but Moyes is a decent manager. They have a decent group of players. They need to add a couple of players here and there, which they haven't done. I can't say they're going to finish as high as 6th this season. They're going to drop off. They're going to find playing twice a week very difficult in my opinion. So I'm going to say they're going to finish 10th and just be comfortably in and around that mid-table area with their manager. In 9th place, I'm going for Leeds United. Now, I was debating whether to put Leeds higher, but then when I thought about it and the teams above them, I couldn't do that. But you know what? Yeah, I have to, express my love for Marcelo Bielsa as a manager. I mean, I love him. I love the way he looks at football, the way he coaches, the way you can see his philosophy in the plays that he coaches, and how every manager speaks highly about him. I've got to give him credit, and I've got to factor that in my judgment of Leeds. I think Leeds will do decently this season, a step above how they did last season, maybe not in 9th place, maybe 8th, but I'm going to go for 9th. I'm sticking with 9th, and I think they're going to have a decent season this year. In 8th place, I'm going for I'm going to go for Spurs. Now, it was a bit of a difficult one to do, this one around 8th, 7th and 6th, because Spurs are difficult. They've got a new manager in Nuno Espirito Santo. Of course, I don't know what's going to happen if Harry Kane or Lamelo's left. It's going to be a bit of a dilemma for them. Their manager again, just going back to Nuno, I think this will be where we see if he's a good manager or not. Like, legitimately, if he can get Spurs up into the 5th, 4th with the resources he has, I'm going to rate him as a manager, regardless of what happens with Harry Kane. In 7th place, I have gone for Aston Villa Football Club. Now, again, like I said, it's a difficult one to rate, because they've lost Jack Grealish, they've lost their talisman, they've lost the player that they relied on, but they've added Danny Ings, they've obviously added Emi Buendia, and they've also added Leon Bailey, who is a fantastic player. Their manager, Dean Smith, is also decent. He's got a lot to prove. We'll see how they do. I think 7th for them. In 6th place, I have gone for Arsenal Football Club. Now, Arteta, again, a lot to prove. The teams in and around here, again, they've got a lot of things to prove, because they want to finish higher. They want to finish higher. They've signed Ben White. They've made a few acquisitions here and there. We need to see the fruit of the labour for Arsenal. We need to see it, and it's going to be interesting how they piece it together. I think 6th for them, better than the teams below them in this situation. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Who's going to finish in the Champions League places? Who's going to finish just outside of the Champions League places? And this year, it's always a bit of a debate, but this year I have decided to go for Leicester City. Now, Leicester City are a well-polished side. They won the FA Cup. They have a lot of clout in their side, so they've got the likes of added different players into that side as well, and they've got not world class, but definitely a very good manager in Brendan Rodgers. I just feel like the top 4 this season is going to be, they've strengthened so much that it's going to be very difficult to break that top 4. So I feel like Leicester will probably finish just outside again. In 4th, of course, I have gone for Liverpool Football Club. sensational. I feel like with players coming back from injury, it might be very difficult to mount a title challenge. I feel like if Liverpool get going, there's no stopping them. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I'd say, and that's the only thing I've kind of gonna say if Liverpool do finish top is that you can't stop them when they're on a roll. But are they gonna get on that roll? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. They've got too many players coming back from injury that would otherwise maybe push them into the second or first conversation. But I don't think so. Yeah, for this year. Third place, I'm going for Manchester United. And Manchester United again, they've strengthened. They've got some decent players. They've been very up and down in the last 3 or 4 years, but they've signed the likes of Jadon Sancho and Rafael Varane. In my eyes, is how do they incorporate those players? Do those players make them better? How does Oli manage the side and the squad? These are all questions that I need to find out from Manchester United. And I just don't think, based on their manager, they can challenge effectively. Now, second, I have gone for Manchester City just to miss out on the title. Now, of course, they have signed Jack Grealish. He's a fantastic player. They've just won the league. They've got so many things to be positive about. They just went into a Champions League. They'll probably go for after another target in the transfer market, maybe a Kane or something. But they've already got Grealish, who strengthens their team. They've got an elite manager. They've got a fantastic setup as a club. I just think the team above them might be just slightly better, and that's the thing. They've strengthened a bit better in key areas, and they won the Champions League. And of course, I'm talking about Chelsea to finish first. Chelsea, in my eyes, that Champions League tells me how good their manager is and how good their squad is. You know, Tuchel really knows how to get a tune out of this squad, how to get them playing for him and understanding just the basics. Of course, they are close to signing Koundé, a centre back, and Romelu Lukaku. I feel like those two signings alone can propel them into first. As champions, they create so many chances. They just need someone to put the ball in the back of the net. Simple as. And when they get someone that can do that, it's over for everyone. But let me know, that is my prediction. Those are my predictions on the screen right now. Tell me what you think of my predictions, as I'd love to hear your thoughts. And that is me done for the predictions. We're going to come back to these soon to see how I did. Well, not soon, but at the end of the season to see how I did. And if I've embarrassed myself in any way. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. And I'll catch you